Hey guys, it's Sonia. Welcome back to my channel, Sonia G Coaching. I hope you are well. Today I want to talk about having difficult conversations, and this is based off of Martell and Melody Holt. I was sent the video and then I went back and watched the episode of him apologizing, and someone wants to know my thoughts on the apology and the conversation and conflict management. So I thought that was a great idea. We're going to talk about it today. I may do another conflict management video separate from a show, just in case people aren't interested in a show or don't know these characters. But today we're talking about Melody and Martell Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay, so Martell apologized to Mel for the things that has happened in their relationship. Looking at this conversation, there are several lessons we can learn in several ways that he could improve and Melody could improve as well. But for today, I'm really just going to focus on how to initiate a difficult conversation. So the backstory is that Martell and Melody were married, I think, for 14 years. They ended up getting a divorce, and Martell had an affair and a child with the lady he was having an affair with, and he caused a lot of harm. You know, his decisions caused a lot of harm and a lot of heartache, and he and Melody went on a family vacation and he wanted to apologize. So we're going to get away from everything from social media and just deal with the apology itself. And in the apology itself, we have to talk about what's the goal of the apology, right? Martell wants to apologize for betraying his wife. He wants to apologize for tearing his family apart. Again, let's exclude everything with social media and what's happening now. Let's just pretend like this is a couple who's trying to work through a conflict, because whether they are trying to stay married or not, they have children together, and it's very important that they're able to have a healthy relationship for their children. And so you have to be able to have difficult conversations in all relationships, work relationships, especially if you're in leadership, and your personal friendships, family, and your romantic relationships. So Martell was trying to make an apology to Mel for all the things that has happened. Now, where we have some challenges with the two is in the past, Martell has blamed Melody for his decisions to have an affair. Okay, his infidelity, he stated, came from him, quote unquote, not getting his needs met at home. She wasn't making him happy, and so on and so forth. So essentially, the things that we're dealing with here are a lack of trust, betrayal, a lack of respect, a lack of safety, and overstepping boundaries. That is his mate's problem. Okay, those are her concerns. He has broken trust. He has betrayed her on several occasions, and he is working to resolve this. So the goal of this conversation is to rebuild, regain trust, repair the relationship, provide and improve a safe space for his relationship, and try to resolve issues that can be resolved, or at least come to a happy medium to where they can co-parent or have a relationship in a healthy way. So let's start with his apology and how this all went down. He decided, without Melody's permission, he decided to get a table for just he and Melody, for him to talk to her. So his number one mistake was not asking permission for her time and to be in her space in this way on a one-on-one basis, because this was just supposed to be a family vacation for the family. This wasn't a time for him and her, although he kept saying this vacation is about me too. The vacation really supposedly was just about the kids making memories with both of their parents. And so if you have overstepped boundaries and broken trust, and this has been a concern for your partner, and is one of the places and spaces of contention for you guys, where he should have started is asking permission. It would have been better for him to say, Melody, you know, we are having a great time and I really want to move forward in a healthy way. Can you and I have some one-on-one time just to talk? Now, this is something that's very important. When you have an issue with trust and safety in a relationship, it's better to say exactly what it is that you need to talk about. So you need to state your intentions. Really, you should do that anyway. So he should say, I want to talk because I want to apologize for what I have done to you, but I really want this to be a sincere apology or more detail, or I've had some revelations and I want to share them with you. That takes Melody out of defense. He is giving her her power and control. He's not trying to take control of the situation. How he did it kind of dismisses how she feels, because how does he know that she wants to be alone with him or that she wants to talk to him, so asking permission is important, and then stating intention is very important. So had he did those things, she wouldn't have come off so defensive in the beginning, because no matter what, Melody still loves Martell. Martell is the father of her children. He was her husband for many years, and they essentially grew up together. So there's love there, although it may not be romantic love. And they have a goal of having a healthy co-parenting relationship. So it's important that he provides a safe environment for her. In order to do that, you don't want to keep her on the defense, and you don't want it to feel like it used to feel, where there's going to be an attack, because in my training we call that criticism and contempt, and that's basically what he does. So in order to let her know that, hey, I'm not trying to attack you, I'm sincerely coming to you with the olive branch in hand, he would have done better had he asked her permission and stated his intentions clearly. Another area Martell could have improved on with this apology is starting with himself and leading the conversation with himself. Martell led the conversation with, you know how I used to say you didn't satisfy me, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Because Martell has decided to blame his infidelity on Melody. So when he said that, she automatically became defensive. The second half of his apology was perfect, actually, but he should have started there instead of saying, remember when I told you that? Because it automatically puts her in defense. It automatically takes her back to all the times that he said it's her fault. You've told her it's her fault that her family is broken apart, that you've made the decisions that you made, that you've allowed another party into our relationship who she said has been disrespectful to her, that my family and everything is separated. My life is all over the media. He put that all on her. It wouldn't have happened had you just been taking care of me. And he now realizes that had he been doing the right thing, or maybe there was something missing, maybe there was a reason she wasn't doing, quote unquote, what he said or what he wanted or what he needed, they wouldn't be here. So it would have been better for him not to start with, remember that. It would have been better for him to start with, in the past, I have wrongfully accused you of not doing what was needed, and I did not look through your lens. I did not take the opportunity to consider your perspective or your reasonings for not wanting to show up for me in these ways, and I want to apologize for that. That's very different than you coming saying what you used to say, which is already a point of contention. Because as you can see, Melody was like, are we about to talk about beep? Because I don't want to talk about that, because he has smeared her there, right? Because he has blamed her. He has said because she wasn't doing this one thing, he had to step out and have an affair for X amount of years, right? Which isn't true. Cheating is a choice, So it would have been more beneficial for him to start the conversation with, again, his intention, and not talking about what he said she did, without initially just saying, I'm owning this, right? I'm owning this. Accountability and responsibility are so vital when you are apologizing. You are apologizing for your actions and for what you did. This isn't about the other person in this moment. If you are apologizing, say, I apologize for the acts that I did. And later Martell did say, I apologize for everything I did. He didn't go down the line, which I feel like it's very important to say in detail what you're apologizing for, so everyone is clear. But he did say, for everything, he said, I know the reason why our family is apart is because of my actions, right? Which I'm sure Melody wanted to hear that. I'm sure that was good for her to hear, because he's been blaming her this whole time. So I'm sure she felt validated in that moment. And when you're talking to your partner and you're trying to have these difficult conversations, come in and talk about how you feel, what you did. If you are apologizing, say what you are responsible for, what are you accountable for, what did you do wrong, and how you want to make it right, or how you want to move forward. And if you go into explaining, which sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad, it's situational. When you go into explaining, you're clear about your role. So don't make it about the other person. So it's, in essence, don't blame, don't deflect, don't become defensive. It's better, it would have been better if he had just approached it taking full responsibility from the jump. When you're trying to rebuild a relationship that has had trust broken and their safety is a concern, you have to remember it's important for you to provide a safe environment for that person and to reestablish trust, and that's going to take time. So please don't trigger that person with some terms that you use that they've told you is triggering to them, right? That's like, don't pour salt in a wound. So he did good the second half of the apology. He owned it. He took responsibility, and he asked that she received it, and she said she received it. So that's good. My last critique is a difficult conversation. When you're trying to have a difficult conversation with someone, it is so important that you understand that this is a conversation and not a monologue. This is not one-sided. So you give that person room to say what they're thinking, share their perspectives, their thoughts, what they were feeling, And one thing Martell does wrong, when he really doesn't want to see or feel, in my opinion, what he's done wrong, he tells them to stop. He does this to everyone. He'll say, stop, you're being negative. He'll deflect in some kind of way, which you don't want to deflect, right? And you have to allow a person to express themselves. You don't have to be abused, but you have to understand. But it's important to understand that people may have some feelings there, right? There may be feelings of frustration, anger, hurt, resentment, and you may feel a little bit of that in their tone. With that, I would say the best thing to do is set up rules for your arguments or your discussions or your your tough conversations. Make sure that you guys have rules to engagement, and this is a conversation that you have before an argument. So we won't raise our voice. We won't call names. Have a safe word. Like, okay, there's a safe word if I feel like I am being hurt. But difficult conversations are difficult. Martell asks for feedback, basically, as to what he can do to be better in the future. And is that up to Mel? Does she have to do that? No. But if they were trying to resolve conflicts within a relationship, that would be an important conversation to have. And he has to be willing to listen to what she's saying. So him not really allowing her to express himself made her decide, I'm not going to further this conversation, right? Okay. Well, you don't want to know, so I'm not going to tell you. You go figure it out with Dr. Francis, which is actually a good idea. Seeking outside counsel or therapy or coaching or someone that can help you with difficult conversations is important. Martell has I noticed that he's kind of impulsive. And he tries to control the narrative. He wants things to go a certain way so he doesn't have to feel too much. And it's very human. Like, a lot of us are like that. We don't want to hear what people have to say if it isn't good about us. You have to think about the person you're dealing with. Martell dealt with a lot of bullying. His mom, I noticed she deflects a lot. So there's tools to be gained there. So it would be beneficial for him to go and talk to someone to learn how to do conflict resolution and problem solving within the relationship and just what healthy communication looks like. But I will say it's very, very important that if you want to have a conversation and you want to get an understanding of that person's perspective and their experience of you may have to hear some things that you don't want to hear, right? But they can make you grow or not, right? So have that conversation, gain understanding, and what resonates and what doesn't may not. But take some time to self-reflect truly to see, is that really who I am? is that really what I'm doing, and was that really my intention? And empathy is important. Put yourself in that person's shoes. How would you want to feel? How would you have felt had the shoe been on the other foot? And I think sometimes because we're trying to survive, we won't have that conversation. We don't even want to think about it. And I feel like that is how Martell handles things, but he just hasn't been given those tools. So him obtaining those tools will be best. So that's basically it as far as that discussion goes. I could go into more detail maybe later, but I do want to say it's just very important to provide a safe space to listen to what your partner has to say if you're trying to have a conversation, to take full responsibility and accountability for your part. Don't blame them. This isn't about them. This is about you. Even if they did what they did, what you decided to do, what you can control is what's important here when you're saying I'm apologizing, right? And be willing to grow past the situation. I really do hope the both of them gets the help that they need. I know Melody is continuing in her healing journey. I hope Martell is doing the same for the sake of himself and his children and his family. He has daughters, he has a son, you know, he has individuals who's going to look up to him. And you guys, let me know what your thoughts are, and if I should do a video just on difficult conversations or problem solving, you let me know. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Contact me if you want coaching at signagary.com, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and please don't forget to love yourself for who you are. Take care. Bye-bye.